And let's start. Hey everyone, this is Noah here. I am the technical product developer here at E8 Labs, and the purpose of this video, highly requested by the way by a lot of our clients, is to show you an inside look into our software development lifecycle, which we refer to as the SDLC. And this is going to give you an inside look into how we build platforms, how we take ideas to app stores, essentially, whether it be a mobile app or even a SaaS product. And this is intentionally intended for the startup or founder that's listening to this. And so I hope you get some insight out of this video as we walk you through what your particular specific process looks like when it comes to ideation, design, development, and deployment. Amazing. Let's jump right into it, guys. First off, the team. Who are you actually working with? So today we're 35 strong. We're a small software development boutique working with select startups and founders to build the next big thing. That's really the aim of our goal. We like to connect and integrate with startups and founders that are on the verge of really, or on the brink, I should say, of really building something spectacular, not just for themselves, but also for the world. And so we tend to focus on startups that are really trying to build the world of tomorrow, whether that be as simple as a dating app, a fitness app, a social networking app, real estate app, whatever that might be. Amazing. Pivoting into the next slide. These are projects that we have launched, just to kind of give you an inside look as to the kind of work we've worked on or the kind of work we've done. We've had the great opportunity of working with startups and founders, having launched dozens of apps since 2017. Some of the platforms that we've built are range across verticals like ride sharing, dating, fitness, marketplace, meditation, and more recently, Web3 projects. For those of you that are unfamiliar with Web3, it's essentially building platforms on the blockchain. Some exciting stuff coming along. I hope to show you guys some of that down the road. Now, I do want to keep this as short as possible, so I'm going to continue to skim through this, keeping it all high level. Next slide, we're talking about tech stacks. For those of you that are unfamiliar with tech stacks, it's essentially the technology stack that's brought together to build things like Uber, Netflix, Facebook, or even your platform. So within a stack, you'll find programming languages like React, Swift, JavaScript, etc., along with also backend programming languages or architectures that we need to set up. And we do that to build strong foundations and to build an infrastructure that is scalable and most importantly, stable once we've launched, okay? Pivoting over to the roadmap. So high level, we are gonna start with ideation, right? Jump into design, development, and then deployment. Pivot into this. So in ideation, what happens, right? So high level, we conceptualize, we do some whiteboarding, we do product market research. Let me jump into that right now and show you a little bit more about that. So within ideation, in our early meetings, we'll dive into the following 4 points. We're going to first get you set up with your E8 Labs account. I'll give you a quick glimpse of what that looks like. Here, I'm logged into Noah's account, and what you're seeing high level, you've got the PKM phase, short for project kickoff meeting. And then you've got the design phase and the development phase. And within each phase, there are critical milestones or access you're going to need for things that we're working on. This keeps you in the loop of what's happening. Initially, we start with the project kickoff. What is this? The project kickoff is essentially something I call the iceberg theory. I've composed everything I've learned over the past 10 years into something I call, or not really I call, but it's something that is referred to as the iceberg theory. And the reason why this is the foundational layout I've created is because most founders, this is loading a little too long, let's bring this up. I already have one open for you. Most founders only see the tip of the iceberg, what they refer to as the platform, and barely have a general understanding of what the overall idea is. And again, this idea develops over time, right? So for example, when Instagram initially started, they probably had the idea of just allowing users to post a picture, add a filter, and that was simply it. Today, that idea has grown. And so underneath the iceberg, you're going to see things like the ideation phase, design thinking process, the user base, product development. And underneath all of that is essentially E8 Labs, building and helping you understand the ecosystem within software development, as well as the startup space. Amazing. The next thing we have is the project detail. This is where we unpack the concept, where we talk about the problem we solve, the users, the personas, their use cases, and so forth. Give you a quick glimpse as to what this looks like. This is the project detail. We recap on the billion-dollar idea, the problems we're solving, competitors in the space, your elevator pitch, the personas involved, like to break it up individually by personas. So in the case of Uber, you've got the passenger, the driver, and main admin, right? Revenue models that we're going to implement in the MVP, user engagement strategy, how do we acquire, retain, engage, etc. Now, not to kind of dive too deep into this, but this is your overall EA Labs dashboard, all right? Jumping back to the slide I put together here for us, we kind of covered everything except for whiteboarding, market and product research. I'd like to jump into Figma and kind of give you a high-level overview of this particular whiteboard we've done for a platform called UIT, stands for Us in Technology. They're essentially a job board, right? Allowing companies to create jobs, allowing companies to invite their team members and manage these jobs, whether it be HR or recruiting, and applicants coming on, accessing these jobs. Now, what we do is we ask questions. What are some of the user questions we ask? So what problems are we solving for our target customer? How do they find the product? What will be their motivation? What is the user demographic, etc. We've got the use cases, the persona and feature list, as well as the Moscow principle. The reason why we do our whiteboarding is to help us unpack the concept further. There will be use cases in logic that are conditional that may not be considered. There'll be milestones and roadblocks that we may not have seen, but allowing us to whiteboard some of these things allows us to identify that. And then lastly, the competitive analysis. Some of the competitors we looked at, you guys may know of, Jobwell, Canvas, and Indeed, okay? Next, we're diving into the design phase. Here we work on the design specification. We do the XD design wireframes and prototype. It's one thing to say this and kind of explain what that is and say this is what we do, but it's another to really show you what this looks like. So the design spec, let me pull up the UIT job board design spec. The specification will have things like the different names we come up with, the mobile app users, universal user screens, the company admin screens, and what they actually see and engage with, right? And this is a document that outlines what the actual wireframe will eventually look like. So we see the wireframes, okay? In the wireframe or in the actual XD file, what you'll see will be your dashboard here again. This dashboard is designed and created to help you access everything within the design phase, right? Along with your main dashboard on our website. Now, I know I'm probably running on close to 10 minutes here, but this is the wireframe, okay? So we've got the different users that are involved. So you've got the applicant, right? You've got the company, you've got the main admin, right? And their dashboard, accessing companies and members, etc. Right? And so there's so much that happens, so many things that are created. And then we have a desktop version, right? And then we've got the AWS architecture that we're going to deploy or put together to set up this, this vast, really complex platform. And this is the wireframe. Now from the wireframe, we jump into creating the prototype. I'm going to give you guys a quick glimpse into what this prototype looks like from the applicant perspective. So now I launch the app, get a beautiful splash screen that gets me through into the app, create an account, I'll sign up as a member, right? I've got my tutorial screens, I can skip this for now, uploading a profile picture. So it walks us through, it's an actual prototype that you can use. I've seen a lot of startups use the prototype to create partnerships, raise capital, and or focus groups, which takes me to my next topic. We've actually conducted about 3 to 4 different focus groups specifically for the Us in Technology platform. Again, UIT is a job board. So we conducted focus groups with applicants, with recruiters for the company side, and then overall, as well as the internal UIT team, just to ensure that we have our bells and whistles, or not our bells, but our T's and dots well aligned with the user requirements, their features, etc. Amazing. I know I'm blowing through this super fast, guys. And the purpose for that is just to keep this all condensed. And that was pretty much it, guys. I know I went through this super fast. If you do have any questions on this, feel free to reach out to us via email, and we'll be able to kind of dive into any of the questions we have. Helpful, and I hope to see you in our next project kickoff meeting. Again, this is Noah with EA Labs. I'm sure we'll connect at some point during our meeting. See you then.